The Influencer's Edge is brought to you by the Rapid Sales Accelerator. If you're ready to skyrocket your sales by 30% or more in just 90 days, then you need to claim your free training right now. You'll learn 4 words that will compel your prospects to trust you like they were children within the first 3 to 5 minutes of any conversation across any platform and any medium. You'll learn how to give your prospects objection amnesia, to crush objections like, I need to talk to my spouse, or I need more time to think it over, or it's too expensive. If you'd like to claim your free training now, go to www.paulrossbook.com. Do it before your competition does it now. Thank you for tuning in to the Influencer's Edge, where you get the latest breakthroughs, cutting-edge insights, tools, and techniques so you can leapfrog over the pack in sales, influence, and persuasion. Remember to visit our website at www.theinfluencersedge.com to enjoy even more great episodes like this one. We look forward to seeing you again on the Influencer's Edge Show.
All right, welcome to the Influencer's Edge, the show that disconnects the dots, colors outside the lines, and thinks outside the box. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We always like to bring people who have different points of view. And so today I told him in our green room chat, our virtual green room chat, that I'll never pronounce his last name properly. So welcome, Sebastian. Pronounce your last name.
Yeah, it's Uzcategui.
That's what I said. Sounds Italiano. But in fact, you're from Venezuela originally, correct?
Right, yes, sir.
All right. So I'm going to start with the bio, but as I told you, I never go with the bio.
Good, that's how I like it.
All right. So my name is Sebastian, unpronounceable last name, and my story is one of such small work, perseverance, and the pursuit of freedom. All right. So many people throw around the word perseverance and freedom. What does perseverance mean to you in your personal experience?
Well, it's being unshakable. I think in the world that we live in today, a lot of people, no matter how big they dream, they get detoured, they get shaken off of it. Perseverance to me means that no matter what happens as far as an obstacle goes, and especially as far as needs go, you don't detour from your dream. People often, because of finances and having to make ends meet, they'll completely abandon their dream or detour their life just to keep working that 9 to 5 and, of course, making ends meet, but they don't persevere through the obstacles to keep working on their main mission in life, what their purpose is deeply. And that's what freedom and perseverance means to me.
Let's challenge you right off the
Mhm.
bat. You
Good.
say they don't veer.
Mhm.
Human nature, I think, is such that sometimes we fall down and we stay down for a little bit. The way you're making it sound as if you're constantly going, going, going. You
Mhm.
never doubt yourself. You never get down. I'm sure that's not what you mean.
Well, the way that I like to say it is this way. You're right. We're by nature going to fall sometimes, and we're going to doubt ourselves, and we're going to feel bad, and we're going to, yeah, have this temptation to detour. But the truth is, you should never base a permanent decision off of a temporary emotion. And those emotions, those negative winds of, can I really do it, should I make this decision, those are temporary emotions. But deciding to not follow through with an important decision towards your goals or your dreams, that's permanent. You never get that back. So I'm not saying that you should never feel bad or to, let yourself fall down from time to time. It's about staying down. That's a problem.
Right. And I would draw a distinction. I want to, again, throw this back at you because I did tell you this is going to be a real conversation.
Good.
There's doubting yourself and your ability to get where you want to go. And then there's doubting a particular course of action and being critical and saying, wait a minute, what's the missing piece? Where am I going off base? Where is this really the smart direction, or am I making assumptions I shouldn't make? There's a wonderful book I recommend. I wish I could get a hold of the author. I have to do it, called The Scout Mindset, where she talks a lot about being able to evaluate your decisions. Are they really based on wishful thinking? Do you understand where I'm driving? So
Yeah.
do you draw a distinction between
Mhm.
staying unswerving, staying on point, and also occasionally having little mini doubts about the steps to your course?
Well, Paul, I really like your question. I really, really do. I think the distinction that I would make is destination versus path. What you're describing, or where you're connecting to the idea of perseverance, is to be perseverant in the same path, but not in the destination. Which means that, of course, let's say you're going down the wrong path, you're you're screwed at a certain point, right? I'm saying to have perseverance in your destination. So know where you want to go, but be flexible to change the path to get there. So in my case, for example, there was a long time where I was failing in all of my businesses because I was trying to make them work through traditional methods, and I realized that that's not going to work. People just scroll through ads nowadays. People just ignore what they see, and they don't really connect with you or with anything for that matter. So my path was wrong, but I was persevering into my destination. So I looked for alternatives, and that's why I stumbled into public speaking as a solution for growing myself and my businesses. It's all about destination over path.
There's a lot. So when you have these, it's very funny because I found business models break every 2 to 3 years now.
Yep.
So
Yes,
we're
sir.
2 to 3 years. I've had coaches who are very sincere who wasted years of my time.
Hmm.
I won't even get into it. Building business models for me that are just barely working for them and then no longer work anymore. Once I've
Yep.
executed what they've given me, it just falls to the ground.
Amen.
So your gig is to connect with people on a much more, I don't like the word authentic, it's overused, much more personal than through an ad, through public speaking, correct?
Yeah. So there's like I tell people all the time, I actually got invited to a massive AI conference at the end of this month. And that's funny because I don't do AI. And the whole reason why I got invited was because during my interview, I said one sentence that sold them completely. I said, AI is not meant to replace, it's meant to amplify. And as someone in my space of public speaking, yeah, I know you just like the word authenticity, but that's really what I like to say that I'm rooted into is having an authentic voice, an authentic message, being personal, being visceral with your what your mission is in your
I love
business or
that word.
whatever it is. What's up? Visceral?
I love the word visceral. Yeah, that,
Yes. That's
yes.
that's
And
what comes to
people are,
mind when I talk about
and people
public
are
speaking.
missing that because
Mhm.
again, social media, I'm guilty of
Exactly.
this.
Amen.
Social media influencers show you their exciting, happy, beautiful lives, and you don't see the darkness and the pain
Mhm.
and the pimples and the airbrushing. I think we're
Right.
all, as hooked as we are in the dopamine, we're all longing for something with the flaws and
Exactly.
so how did you no, how you got started on the path is a typical question. I'm going to pause. We'll ask you that. So, at what point on trying out traditional business models did you say, "Wait, holy shit, this is bullshit. I've got to create something different"? Was it a series of? Did you wake up one morning? Did you have a wife who screamed at you and said, "Look, I'm leaving you if you don't figure this out"? Tell us the real story.
Kinda. Yeah. I'm 23 years old, but I have
I
been running
hate you.
businesses.
Interview
Yeah, I'm sorry.
terminated.
I'm sorry. But I've been running businesses since I was as young as 14, as is what kind of I started my journey as an entrepreneur. And I hit the ground running. I did everything in the book. I did, Amazon, I did Facebook ads, I did real estate. I got my real estate license as early as possible at the strike of 18. And what my breaking point was, because I was always in this pursuit for freedom financially and everything, and being an entrepreneur, my breaking point was where nothing seemed to work no matter how hard I tried, no matter
Mhm.
what. Every single avenue just seemed oversaturated. I mean, today's world is unfortunately oversaturated.
Mhm.
There's a lack of that realness, like you described. Dude, I was down $20,000 trying to get ads to work, and not a single client came through. Could you imagine
I
that?
you know what?
Yeah.
Ads are bullshit unless you have an appealing offer, you know your audience, you know their pain points.
Yep.
It's all
Mhm.
bullshit. All these
And even
agencies,
then, even then, good luck for someone to just snap out of this lethargy that people feel when they're scrolling through. Good luck having someone snap out of it and actually click on your stuff. They're scrolling for the dopamine, man. They don't even care about your ad half the
I
time.
think I
Mhm.
think you're pretty much correct on that. And yet, yeah, I know exactly where you are. Did you have, well, you're too young to be married, so I would assume that you didn't have a woman uh, whispering in your ear saying, "I'm leaving you."
Uh, Something like that. I had someone during this time where I was struggling a lot. I had one woman walk out of my life and one woman walk into my life. One woman that walked out was the one that didn't want to be with me through the hardships and only loved me at the time where things were good. And the
Yeah,
woman that walked into my life was next to me as I was building everything that I am, and she's still with me today. So
good
I
for
call, even
you.
though I'm
That's
too
your
young, but I still call that my wife. I do.
that's your ride or die woman. Good
Exactly
for
right.
you.
Mhm.
Good for you.
Exactly
All
right.
right. So let's move forward. So when the skill of public speaking, that's a natural thing for me. I like being in front of a crowd. I like being in front of a camera. When you first started doing this, was it natural for you to do it, or did you have to go, well, I need some training here?
I'm a firm believer that humanity, even though as much as we talk, even though we're the ones that invented language in the natural world, we fucking suck at communicating. We do. We're so bad at it. We're terrible. And by nature, most human beings are not public speakers. People, on average, 90% of people are more afraid of public speaking than dying, which is a
I don't
true
know if
statistic.
that's, I've heard that statistic.
You gotta look into it.
I don't know if that's true, but I get your point. Yeah, a lot of people
Right.
are afraid of it.
Right. People are terrified of it. And I'm a firm believer that one of the biggest distinctions that we have as human beings from animals is not our intelligence, but rather our ability to overcome. We overcome our nature every day. And I think that being an entrepreneur, being a leader, being in a space like what you're in, you're defined by how much you overcome in your life, not by what holds you back. I think speaking holds everyone back. I actually have a speech impediment myself. I stutter. I'm dyslexic, and I this is my second language. But I'm a firm believer that I needed to overcome this, and so I did, and everything fell into place after that.
Well, you're not I haven't heard you stutter once during this
I don't
interview.
stutter on stage, but my girlfriend makes fun of me all the time for it.
Oh, well, thank you. That's helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. I spared you a lot of minutes of me just going.
So wait, so when you, in the sense you're on stage here, I get it. Thank you. I'm glad you're feeling comfortable more and more. The more you listen to the sound of my voice as that continues to happen. How did you train yourself to become? So are you saying you are naturally, you were not naturally good on stage?
No, not at all.
How did you train yourself?
Well, I did it mostly by forcing myself. But the deeper that I went into the game, the more that I realized that there's a lot of exercises that are very simple to do that can elevate someone from being a 5 out of 10 speaker all the way up to being like an 8 or 9 out of 10 just by doing some simple exercises. So that's what I do with my speakers today is I have them, I'll sit down with them, I'll do like a mock interview and I'll just keep giving them these exercises based on their struggles to refine their speaking more and more. It's not difficult. It's just a question of actually having the courage to use your voice. Your voice is an instrument. And yet imagine a whole piano. Most people are they live their whole lives just pressing the same key on that piano and they never explore anything else. So it's no question why people aren't naturally good at it. They don't explore their instrument. So I help people do that.
Okay. And so when are you teaching people to speak and then pitch or get paid to speak or both or neither? Because they're totally different games.
Yeah, absolutely. They're very different games. And yet I do believe that either is useless without the other. You can be on the best stages in the world, but be a terrible speaker and get no impact done. Or you can be a great speaker and have zero platform. So because I built this myself to as a solution, I built my own public speaking agency and then I hired myself to book myself out on stages. Um, Next thing you know, I frontlined all of my events. So I have a strong database of places that I've spoken myself at. And then I have all these networks to find other events and things like that. So not only do I coach, but I also want to make sure that I have places to send people out to, be it paid events, be it podcasts, be it whatever it is, networking events, whatever my specific speaker is most ideally looking for.
That's a pretty unique thing. Rather than beg at the door of other agencies, you created your own.
Right.
That's pretty. You got some chutzpah there. You know, chutzpah is
No
it's
idea.
it's a Yiddish word for balls, guts,
Oh,
daring.
great. I'll remember that. It's called chutzpah.
Like you
Chutzpah. Got it.
chutzpah.
I'll write that down. Okay, got that. Right. Yeah, but it's been a journey, and kind of like I was saying, I because of that, because of my agency and my amazing team that I built to do that exact thing for me, I've even gone as far as to speak at places like the United Nations. But that only furthered my cause because when I'm there, you'd be so surprised. I mean, you'd think that at a stage as big as the United Nations, you would have the best speakers in the world,
Yeah.
right? But it was some of the worst, most piss poor speakers I've ever seen that were making the crowd literally fall asleep, man. And that's when I really locked in to say, wow, man, this is not a talent that everyone has, but everyone needs. The lack of leadership, even in things like the United Nations, is impressive. You would expect them to be so powerful, but
I
they
wouldn't.
lack a voice.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't at all.
Well, maybe you wouldn't. You're
We
right.
won't get
Right.
into politics, but I'll tell you off the air. And I'm glad they are so terrible. And we'll get
Mhm.
that's a totally different discussion. I won't inject my politics into this discussion. I just won't do it. Although I'm tempted to. It is October 7th as we record this.
Oh, wow. You're right. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. And
Mhm.
I'm Jewish, so you put
Mhm.
two and two together, and you get
Right. Yeah, I've taken a look at everything that's going on right now. It's pretty crazy, man.
yeah, pretty crazy indeed, evil and crazy. So okay, an entrepreneur comes to you and
Mhm.
they say, Sebastian, I don't know shit about public speaking. And more importantly, I don't know the essence of my message. I have said to people, because people said, I don't want to make it about me, but I just want to bounce this off you and get your honest
Right.
opinion. People say you're so good on stage. What's your secret? I said three things. You have to believe your message is important.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
have to believe your audience needs to hear it. And you have to believe, at least in those moments, you're the only person in the world who can get through to them with it. That's what I teach people. But I want to know what are, for people who are listening,
Mhm.
and you have three top things that you could give them. I don't mean slow your voice down, those are technical things.
Of
What
course.
are the three really deep level, deep conceptual level ideas or directions that you would give people, your clients who come to you?
Well, I actually really like what you just said, for example. I did write it down. I'm stealing that, thank you. But
You, hey, I
no, I'll tell you the three things that I tell all my speakers. There's actually one huge question that I ask everyone. It's kind of like my signature. And it ties into what you said at the end. Believe you're the only one that can give people that message. I ask all my speakers on my first call with them, my very first call, I ask them, okay, listen, what makes your idea revolutionary? What makes your message revolutionary? Why do you deserve the stage? That is really what I base everything off of myself as a speaker. What makes me different? What makes what I'm saying capable of changing lives? And if you can't answer that question, frankly, you shouldn't be on a stage. So I am sometimes picky with who I work with. I need to work with people that have audacity, that are at least daring enough to ponder that question and want to answer it. But I wouldn't even give you three things. I would say that you need that audacity to be able to answer that question. In and of itself, that will carry you so far because the act of answering a question as big as that forces you to step into a mind space of that bravery, that essence, that audacity, that embodying your purpose, embodying your mission, and wanting to put it out there, believing that it's so revolutionary that it needs to be heard. So I would say I simply tell my speakers to ask themselves that. And by the next time I meet with them, if they don't have it, I'm not meeting with them. I don't. And I hope that they do have it because that's where we get to move forward.
Do you help them find it, or you just ask that question and let
No, no,
them
no, no,
wander off
no.
on their own?
The helping them find what they want to speak about is one thing. Helping them turn their topic of what they want to speak on into something revolutionary, that's when I ask that question. But they should I help them kind of refine what it is that they even want to talk about, and then I'll ask them what makes that revolutionary. What is the difference in this thing? So for example, one of my speakers is a brain chemist. He studies brain chemistry, for example, right? Okay, so I asked him, what do you want to speak about in that field? He wants to speak about the brain chemistry with spirituality and how those two things tie together, for example. And I said, okay, cool. I've heard some people do that, What is going to make your perspective on this, your signature speeches on this, what is going to make that revolutionary? What is your perspective that's so different? So I'll help them sometimes, whoever needs it, find out what they want to speak about, but that revolutionary part has to be on them entirely.
Wow. And, I would expect that the difficult thing is, and forgive me, a lot of people just don't have a revolutionary angle. They just
Mm.
don't. This is my experience. I could be wrong. I acknowledge that. My experience is most people are trained because of our educational system and media to think inside the box and not even know that they're in it. The idea that you can think independently for yourself, see the holes in something and see a completely different way of thinking about it, or not even completely different, but sufficiently different that it is revolutionary. Isn't that, I'm just going to challenge you, isn't that something that's out of
Mhm.
reach for most people?
Well, I'll actually go ahead and challenge your point as well. I actually am a big believer that everyone has something revolutionary in them. It doesn't mean that you have to be the next Elon Musk or be the next Jeff Bezos. It means it comes down to framing, presentation. That's it. We can be in the same field, have the same ideas, but present our ideas completely differently, right? So I like to put it this way. I have it right over here. My favorite philosopher is a Stoic philosopher who is Seneca, right? And Seneca was famous. He made his fame as a philosopher not because any of his ideas were actually revolutionary, not because he was so different in his philosophy, because he was just another Stoic. What made him different, what made him revolutionary, if you will, was the fact that he actually turned these ideas that were usually inaccessible to people and actually wrote about them and wrote to people in a way that everyone could access those ideas.
I got it.
So yes, even within the same field, even if your concept is the same, or you don't have the next Tesla or self-driving cars or whatever, your presentation can change the world.
I got it. And the angle too.
Hmm.
Like, for example, in my case, I used to teach guys how to get women into bed. And my angle is okay. And this is true. I took what I learned from that and mapped it over into sales because sales, if you view it in one sense, is essentially like getting a date. Seduction is a form of
Right.
seduction. So I get it. I get it completely. So we're actually at the end of our time here, unfortunately. How did how do people, my audience, my fans, my raving lunatic followers, stay in the conversation with you? What's the way to stay in the conversation and find out more about what you have to offer?
Right. Well, I'm a big believer in speaking with people directly. Again, everything that I do is passion based. You probably won't ever have anyone share their number on a show with you, but I do. I like to do it because I like people that reach out to me. They'll text me, "Hey, I need help with this or that." I'm a big believer in that. So my phone number and all my information is on my website. That is going to be speakup.express. That is the best way to get in touch with me. You'll even see a link to schedule a call with me directly on there. It's not speakup.com. It's speakup.express.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
All right, stay with me for a little after talk in the
Yeah.
virtual green room. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, another fascinating guest on the Influencer's Edge. And I'll close as we always do to the hostile alien armada hovering in your cloaked spaceships just outside of Earth's atmosphere. Remember, eat the Canadians first. They taste better. And we'll see you on the next episode.
The Influencer's Edge is brought to you by the Rapid Sales Accelerator. If you're ready to skyrocket your sales by 30% or more in just 90 days, then you need to claim your free training right now. You'll learn 4 words that will compel your prospects to trust you like they were children within the first 3 to 5 minutes of any conversation across any platform and any medium. You'll learn how to give your prospects objection amnesia, to crush objections like, I need to talk to my spouse, or I need more time to think it over, or it's too expensive. If you'd like to claim your free training now, go to www.paulrossbook.com. Do it before your competition does it, now. Welcome to the Influencer's Edge. This is the place where you come to get the latest breakthroughs, cutting-edge insights, tools, and techniques to leapfrog over the pack in sales, persuasion, and influence. Be sure you visit our website at www.theinfluencersedge.com. And while you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now sit back, tune in, and enjoy today's episode.